Well, Happy New Year, y'all. It's season 8, and we are back. Are y'all ready for some cocktails and conversation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let's get it started. Are you ready for cocktails and conversations? Are you ready for cocktails and conversations? Are you ready for cocktails and conversations? With your host, the unapologetic diva, Dr. G, the girlfriend therapist, Dr. Cortina Lewis, and the networking extraordinaire, Diana Richardson Philippus. Are you ready for cocktails and conversation? This is Herspiration Happy Hour. Happy Hour. Happy Hour. Well, we are back. We are back. We are back. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
It feels surreal to be back because after you've not podcast in a while, well, me and Diana, me and you did for a little bit, but after you had like such a hiatus, y'all, I was so busy.
It's been a minute.
I was so busy. About like 15 minutes ago, I was like, oh, I got a podcast.
Right.
I had to quickly get my life together because it was not all the way together. I was not this put together. I had to do this like in like 10 minutes. 10-minute get together.
I hear you.
Well, I mean, just keeping in the spirit of things, I know we normally have a cocktail of the day, so I do have one.
Oh, bring it.
Yes, it is the sparkling citrus bliss. And so I wanted to kind of think of something that would symbolize cheer, brightness, and a sparkling new year and new beginnings. So basically what it is, you're going to have 1 cup of orange juice, a half a cup of cranberry juice, a half a cup of pineapple juice, a cup of sparkling water, and a tablespoon of grenadine. You shake it all together, and then you just want to pour it. It makes quite a bit, so it's not just 1 glass, but you can make this sparkling citrus bliss, and then you can garnish it with cranberries and fresh mint if you want to. You can also sugar the rim if you like. You can even muddle the cranberries if you like. And then for our mocktail, what you would do is, well, that's our mocktail. For our cocktail, what you want to do is just be able to add some vodka or tequila, whatever you prefer.
Okay.
Well, I am having, this is a different year for me because y'all know normally I am dry January.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh,
I am not dry January this year. I'm just not. Just not dry. I tried. I think by day 3, I was like, what am I doing this for? Because it's not like it's not like I'm drinking a whole lot, and it's not like I go out a whole lot right now. So I said, I can have me a beverage now and again just to unwind, because this is going to be a hell of a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be
it surely is.
By the 20th, I might be full-blown alcoholic. I'm just teasing. I'm just saying because of the
full-blown.
No, because the political transition's coming in. You just don't really know what to expect. That's why I said that, y'all. I was just kidding. But no, I just, I've relaxed a lot in December. It was nice. How was you all's holidays?
It
was all right.
That was good.
Just all right?
Yeah,
Relaxing?
It was good.
I was sick for most of it. So
I did get to see you.
Yes.
So I'm trying to think I got to see you in December. I was supposed to see Diana for New Year's, but that didn't pan out. But I had already seen her several times in 2024. Shay, when was the last time
we got to see each other in November? All of us were together.
Yep, we did.
Yep.
We did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
It was all of us.
Yeah.
Yep. Blame it on my brain. I'm telling you, I got foggy brain, you guys. I swear my brain is so foggy. It's the menopause, but that's
yeah, we were totally hanging out. There must have been them shots. Must have been those shots. But it was kind of nice. And the thing that I did not like is I hate going down to Orlando and it is cold. And then I got sick.
It's cold right now.
I got sick. I ended up getting bronchitis coming back. It was terrible.
Yeah.
I was actually real sick. I mean,
Yes,
after
you
I
were.
found out it was bronchitis, then the doctor had told me it was potentially pneumonia that, and I'm like, man, it was terrible. I tested negative for everything though. So,
Okay.
and I was grateful for that because I know that the flu was running wild. You ended up
Still
getting
is.
you, Cortina, in
Say
December.
that again?
Yeah.
Oh. So I was already a little bit sick when I saw you in New York. I was like sniffly. And on the 16th, we came back. I just like crashed. And ever since then, I just couldn't get over whatever it was. It was like really bad. And then I felt like on Friday, I started feeling better. This was the Friday before Christmas. And then I just went back down again. On that Saturday, it was like a train hit me. And then the other norovirus that was around, I ended up getting that. And then I started getting over that. And then the whole body aches and chills was coming back again. So Christmas, low key. I had green beans and steak for Christmas. Like not even no festive stuff, like nothing Christmassy or anything at all. And it was just me, my husband, my daughter, my mom. And then New Year's, Dee was asleep when New Year's came in. It was me, my mom. No, my mom wasn't even here. Just me and the kids. And we went outside, saw a firework, and then I went to sleep. It was nothing, not even a Happy New Year, not even a cheers toast, nothing.
Well, don't feel bad. We didn't cheers this year. We were in church. Okay.
I didn't even
We
have the
turned
energy or
church
the
on. We was
motivation
in church.
to
I
do
said, we're going to bring this
anything.
thing in right.
Yeah, I didn't even
With the
have the
Lord.
motivation or the energy to put on clothes, go nowhere, do nothing, absolutely nothing. So I was just like, oh, this is low key. All I want to do is sleep. That's it.
Were you the only one that came down with it?
So I was the only one that was sick. The stomach part, Morgan got that, but nobody else in the house got sick. D, he was in the house with me and Morgan when we were going through it, but nothing happened to him.
Praise God.
It's that Haitian blood.
Let's see, November. After I saw you guys, I was right behind you, Pam. Thanksgiving, my whole family came to me for Thanksgiving, and we were together the entire week. And every last one of us tested positive for RSV.
RSV. Oh,
Yeah. We each and every one of us had RSV.
Oh my God.
So my dad went home with it, my mom went home with it, my aunts, my uncles, all the kids. Me, and then Alton, after I got better, he ended up with it the following week. But it took like 3 weeks to literally get over it. And let's see, coming into Christmas, I spent my Christmas in Maryland, and we all went to Maryland. Everyone came, and all except for my mom, she was scheduled to travel on the 21st, and she actually ended up having a stroke on that day that she was scheduled to travel. So unfortunately, the stroke took her vision, 100% of her vision. But interesting enough, 4 of my other girlfriends, all of their moms had strokes the very same day.
Oh my.
2 out of the 4 passed away, unfortunately. My other girlfriend, which is in Maryland, her mom is still in the hospital in Glen Burnie. And she's still in the hospital. And my mom is physically well. She's mentally well, but she's navigating the emotions behind this new thing with blindness. But I mean, I just have a spirit of gratitude. My mom is well and she's alive and she's healthy. We just have to navigate the newness of this thing. But my posture is, I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful. So like, I have not one complaint. 2025 has already been good to me. So
Amen.
yeah, we brought the new year in church. I was glad service was only an hour and 30 minutes. I was able to get in the house because it was freezing in Atlanta. And I brought the new year in with my mom in church.
Okay.
I just felt honored to be able to guide her to church and be able to just give her all of what she needed to know that her baby has her back and is supportive of this new thing with her, and just felt honored to be her guide. It was so interesting. So I was able to guide her into church. She enjoyed the service. We went by her sister's house and she got some extra love, and everyone just showered her with love. And we went back home and we got in the bed and she listened to the TV and I told her what was going on and we were asleep before midnight.
Hey.
And so it was good for me. I mean, I think my attitude about it all it's in the right space. So yeah, I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah, and Elizabeth says prayers for you and your mom.
Thank you.
Yeah. I tell you, it has been, I have to say in regards to just being blessed and thankful, because, y'all know my dad had a stroke almost 3 years ago, and he was with us from December 19th, and he just left on Tuesday. And so I got to ring in the new year for the first time. I don't know, in my adult life. I got to ring in the new year with my dad. So that was kind of really nice. We had some friends and some friends over, and my dad was here, and we saw midnight, and then my dad departed. He's like, I'm going to sleep. And I don't know when we ended our night. I just know that, I was making so many transitions here because we hosted Christmas. So my house went from, being decorated for Christmas to being decorated for New Year's and the whole shebang. So I had a really good holiday this time, and mostly because I got to really spend that time with my dad. I'm a daddy's girl, so that meant a lot to me, helping him around. And he Lord knows he requires a lot of work because he lost the left side when he had his stroke, and he's left-handed. So he's been navigating, trying to get used to utilizing that right side to make it strong. So I'm hard on him. That's like, come on, you can't just lay there. Come on, get up. You gotta. But it was a joy. It's a joy and you feel very blessed to have your parents still alive after something that is so pivotal that can happen. So I was to be able to spend that time and make those memories, because that's like my mantra for 49. It's making memories. And I remember, Shay, when you talked to me and I was checking in on your mom. It was heavy in prayer, because I know what it's like to have your parents, that there be a lot of uncertainty around, how bad things can be medically after, a stroke.
Yes. And to pivot off of something that you just said, this was the very first time in my entire life that I was able to bring in the holidays or celebrate any holidays with both my mom and my dad. So on Thanksgiving, my dad, he traveled from Georgia. This was his first time actually taking a long road trip like that, like in his entire life. And he came to Florida for Thanksgiving, and we were able to, we celebrated Thanksgiving together and Christmas and New Year. And so this was the first time. And now my husband, he got jokes. He's like, oh, daddy baby, huh? Just daddy's baby. I'm like, yep, daddy's baby. That's right. And then on top of that, he imparted some really precious words to me. And my dad, he's like a really old school country old head that, really don't dig into the emotions too much. But something that he said to me just a couple of days ago, he said, you are a gift from the man upstairs to me. And I had never heard him speak like that before. I just told him 3 years ago that I needed him to start telling me he loves me. But the moment I told him, he started saying it. So every time we hang up the phone, he makes sure he says, I love you. But that was the first time that he actually allowed those emotions to come out and him to express, you are a gift from God to me. And I'm just so grateful that I have such a good daughter. Not just that you're fun to be around. I enjoy spending time with you. And so to hear that from my dad, it shifted something in me. It really, really did. And so it's like, I know that I have, I'm covered by God, but man, it really shifted something in me internally to know that I have that kind of coverage from my father. It did something big for me. So I have not one complaint. God is amazing. He's been good to me.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Talk about like January when it came in, because I was in just a different space. Normally, and me and you, Diana, was talking on New Year's Eve. Did we go live New Year's Eve?
We did. I
We did.
forgot.
So I feel
I was
like
cooking.
I don't know if anyone else can contest to this, or that this is something that they normally did. So coming down when it's getting to the new year, I'm like, I gotta have things cleaned. I want to make sure I enter the new year with a certain way. And this year, I just was like, no, whatever was not done was not gonna get done. Minus, I had one stipulation. This one purple futon needed to be out of my office. I had been sitting in and I wanted my office back. That was the only thing I wanted, the office back. And I wasn't pristine clean like I normally have it. I just needed that out. So I did a little bit of cleaning. I moved, since my husband took a very long time to get it out my office. I decided, you know what, if it's sitting in the living room, he has no choice but to move it. So I drug that son of a bitch into the living room.
She said, drug it and dropped it right there. Here you go.
And so when he walked through the door, the first thing he saw was the futon. And guess what? It made it out where it needed to be, into the green pastures, going to, to the lanyard, or whatever you want to call it.
Not the green pastures.
Yeah,
The green pastures.
I'm
Took
just
it on the green to the better pastures.
but
Take it on to the Lord.
but essentially, I just decided mentally, I asked myself, who am I doing this for? And why does it really matter? And I said, I feel like if I just relax, I think mentally I will enter into this new year differently. So because I was so relaxed, y'all, on the 1st, I was so in a creative space that I wrote I drafted 1.5 children's books. I had all kind of content stuff together. I literally, between the 1st and the 3rd, I did so much work that I feel like mentally I wasn't there for months. Because I feel like I had just, I was relaxing, and then I started feeling like, let me do this, because I intentionally wanted to spend this year just really being a wife. I wanted, I don't want to be pressured by work or getting all these books out. I just wanted to transition and just, be a wife, have fun with my friends. We went down to Atlanta. We really just got to be, and that's what I wanted. And so what I learned from that was why I made my 49th year of intent, because I got to see my friends, because I got to hang out differently, because I didn't make life about work, all subjected by me. I realized I'm my own worst enemy, and I can dictate what I want to do. And so being able to hang out and see my friends and do nothing sometimes. Like when we went to visit Diana, it was the best house trip ever. We stayed in the house. Like we didn't do we were karaokeing at the house. We was grilling, and then we went to Vegas, and then I got to see all of you ladies down in Orlando. I got to spend time with my family. It was just really nice. And so this year, I'm gonna tell y'all. So if you ever go back and play back my when me and you were talking, Diana, when we did the podcast right after my birthday, and I said every other month, I'm going to be intentional about making time with people who I'd never really get a chance to see, or that I've never even met. Doesn't have to be a friend. It could be someone that I've been chatting with for time, and I'm talking years.
I think you already started that.
I did. In New York. I got to meet Shan. And she was my number one. And so then I'm like, every other month. So February. Nope. I would be in LA. Well, so first of all, next weekend, I'm going to New Orleans to celebrate a sister friend's 40th birthday.
Okay.
And then the weekend after that, I'm going to LA. And while I'm in LA, I'm already slated to see 2 people who I've been interacting with. I'm like an internet auntie to one of them. And then another one, and we have been trying to connect every time I go down to LA. And I met her on Facebook. And so I told her I'm coming. And so she's like, well, let's go to lunch. We'll go to lunch on that Friday. And so that's January. So in February, I'll be down in Atlanta. So I'll get to see Diana again and my sisters. And then in March, I'll get to collectively see people. But I have just been filling my schedule with seeing people, and it's just, I'm like, wow. But I have people like, I want to be able to see you this year. I need to be in there. I'm like, okay, let's set up some time. And I am so intentional about it. I swear, I feel like December, it was just buying plane tickets. It was
You
just buying.
know, I said, it's funny that you said that about really slowing down and you wanted to take the time to enjoy, you know, being married and stepping into that role, because again, it is a different role from being girlfriend, even when you are living with your significant other. It's different. And I'm glad that you did that. But I just wanted to say, because I had the same experience, but not on the marital portion, but it was about slowing down, right? Like 2024 really was my year to just, I still worked, you know, y'all, I'm going to work, but I intentionally slowed my mind down. And when you said that, you know, you came into 2025 and you came in with fresh and new creativity because you had given yourself, right, that piece of, you gave yourself permission to be, which is so important, because if you don't have that time to be still and to be silent, and you know, Pam, we talked about like your creativity, and I'm sure Cortina, you can, you know, therapist, you can let us know. I know you're going to deep dive into it and let us know what it is, but you can't really exercise that creativity or have the discernment for what, you know, our higher power is telling us how we should be moving, right? If you're constantly going, it's like you're on autopilot. So I really resonate with you with that, because I told you guys, you know, people are like, are you okay? I'm fine. I am intentionally being quiet and being silent and allowing myself to move or have God move me in the ways that I need to go with power and purpose. That, you know, so it's really like, but 2025, y'all, let me shift in my chair, because when I tell you the creativity, because I thought I was losing it. I was like, I'm so tired. I can't even think no more. Like, no. So by 2024, thank you. You know, 2020, it was amazing. Don't get me wrong, but I am so excited for 2025. I truly am, and all that 2025 is bringing.
So let me raise this to you, something to all of you to try. And this is what I've been doing, mental shifting, because like I said, I've come into 25 with a different mindset. Every single day, I said, for as long as I can go, definitely trying to do the month of January. I said, I'm going to not make one complaint. I have zero complaint about. And I said, you know, so in my mind, when as soon as that complaint decides it wants to hit, I replace it with something that thank you, God.
Let me tell y'all something.
And I've been doing that, and it's actually made a world of difference in how I'm moving throughout the day. So I mean, I just would encourage any of you who are listening and any of you who are watching, just try it. Try it for 3 days to make those mental shifts, not to make one single complaint, but find the good in whatever experience that you are having.
Well, how about how you start your day? You know, how you start your day, really, you need to be intentional about how you're beginning your day. So
I say that until I walk outside.
Beginning in prayer. Because this right here, and yes, I mean, this is not a sponsored opportunity for me, but this devotional right here, can y'all see it? Commanding Your Morning Daily Devotional by Cindy Trim. Baby, listen. And I've always been one for a devotional. Like, I have my Bibles and everything, because I believe in really setting yourself up for success before you even get out of the bed in the morning. Like, you have to be intentional when you open your eyes to say thank you. Because it doesn't happen for everybody, just so we're clear. There are many people who do not wake up in the morning. So every day that you wake up with breath in your lungs, it's a thank you. That's a moment of gratitude. But you also have to take time to be intentional about how you want your day to go. So, and that starts
Yeah.
with, you know, as soon as you're opening your eyes. And then this right here, I'm not gonna be a holy roller, but I can't help it.
That's not being a holy roller. That's the testimony.
You keep that same
Absolutely.
energy. No, I want you to keep that same energy and bring this shit next week when y'all get that cold shit in. Okay. I'm telling you, it takes mental work for not to complain, to not go outside and almost slip, slide, and bust my ass just to get in my car.
I'm gonna be in the house. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be right in the house. My energy gonna stay the same because guess what? I'm gonna have a roof over my head. My heat is gonna be on. There's food in the refrigerator, and God willing, I'm gonna be alive to talk to y'all about what is going on outside. So my energy is gonna be the same. Thank you, Jesus,
See,
for
I'm
covering
from
me.
the city up here anyway, and I had a dental appointment today. Well, I had a dental appointment Monday, but it snowed like 10 inches. Like we got snow. And so everything closed down. So I had to move my appointment to today. Now, anyone who lives in a snowy area know that it's pretty until it's shoveled, until it starts
dirty.
And then there's patches of it that become icy. So when I'm backing out of my driveway, I'm literally sliding down on ice. Ooh. And they didn't really clean the roads until yesterday. I looked out the window early yesterday, and there was a woman that was stuck and two guys in the snow trying to push her, and you see them slip sliding, trying to push her car so that she can move. That's living in a snowy area. So I tell you, that has the potential to damage your mood. But again, I was like,
I stayed ready when I was living in Philadelphia. I always have me some cardboard in the back in the winter, just in case I get stuck. You put that thing right underneath your tire where you stuck and move on.
Well, I have a whole dog that loved the snow. And so we went out in the backyard and I put my snow boots on and I let him go run around in the backyard. And he was just like a little rabbit, just hopping. And the snow almost as tall as him in the backyard. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go let him play. And that's where I had to find my joy. I'm like, you know what? Yes, it's snowing, but somebody enjoys it. So I'm going to enjoy it too. So I went outside and I kind of ran around the backyard for a little bit. But I tell you, it takes daily work to find the positive in every single thing. Because I was slip sliding yesterday. Oh, and I don't know if I even told you because I didn't take no pictures. And I just realized that I took no pictures. Denise was here with me since Saturday.
Oh my gosh.
I took no pic. We were so relaxing. We went out and hung out, just like to watch the games and stuff like that. But she just needed like a little mental health time frame, and she was on vacation, and she left today. My dad left.
Oh goodness!
Yeah, and she left.
Well, why didn't you say nothing? I don't talk to you from.
We were so. Because then sometimes we were in two different places. So like she was down in the basement relaxing and sleeping because she normally works nights and sleeps during the day. So child was counseling all on her while she was asleep on there. Everywhere. And she didn't give him the time of day. But that's how intentional I've been. I cannot believe that I took not one single picture the entire time she was here.
That just means you were in the moment.
Exactly. I'm so excited to hear y'all just say you're navigating with ease and you're allowing yourself to just soak in gratitude. Like the whole shifting of our mindset is so important. Last year, I think it was Cortina that maybe it was Pam, I can't remember, brought up the relaxed woman, being a relaxed woman. Was that Cortina? Who was that? It was Cortina.
That was Cortina.
Yeah, it was Cortina. And that stuck with me the entire time because I'm like, you know what? I'm so grateful that number one, I'm in a marriage where I can fully embrace being a relaxed woman. Thank you, Jesus.
Oh, yes.
And then that alone is just strong for me. And then the other thing is just learning, like I shifted my mindset maybe 2 years ago, just navigating with ease, where like you said, Pam, we're usually like walking through, like running through these traditions and we've got to do this, got to wash the clothes, got to do this, got to do this. And
Yeah.
That's not my portion. Like, that's not my portion. I mean, I'm tidy already. I didn't necessarily need to make sure that the 2 towels and the 2 washcloths that was in the hamper needed to be washed and folded. Like, I didn't need to go on a spring clean binge to go into the new year. I'm just grateful for my life. I'm grateful that I am surrounded around people that support me, that I can pick up the phone and call, send a text message, wave my red flag. Y'all pick me up in the spirit. Like, I am just grateful for all the many things. And then the other thing is that what I recognized in what 2024 did for me, it put me in a posture of, I was a tattletale. I think I was talking to you, Diana, about this. In 2024, I spent the whole 2024 running to God about everything. If you irritated me, frustrated me, pissed me off, made me angry, I promise you I ran to the Father about you, okay? And in turn, there were some times that he turned the mirror on me to check myself. But even in that, I had to accept what he was shifting in me, but also just accept that people are navigating life just like we all do. And as we journey, it's our jobs to be intercessors, right? And so while I'm, interceding when I'm having these experiences, I'm realizing, I'm being stretched. And God said, bring all my concerns and my cares and lay them down at his feet. So I'm laying it all down. I did not allow anything to uproot me. And interesting enough, as we were closing out 2024, all of these daggers, like in the spirit, are coming at me. And I was just like, you miss. Like, you miss. I did not allow myself to get rattled. I don't have any fear. I've always been a free spirit anyway. But now that I'm on the side over here with Jesus, like, I'm even more fearless. But in that, like, when this thing happened with my mom, it did rattle me because I'm like, oh my God, you don't know the outcomes of things. But what I do know is God told me that I was victorious in all things. And so I allowed myself to stay right there. And even in the rattle, I did not waver in my faith. Like, I did not waver. So now going into 2025, my posture even tighter than it was about just having an attitude of gratitude. And then the other thing is just being grateful for every little thing, because every little thing that I have, I don't look like nothing that I've been through. I'm definitely a conqueror in every single aspect of my life. But I'm grateful that not only tapping back into the creativity space, but just being surrounded about, like, I'm in company with the right kind of people now. It's like God cleared out all of the riffraff, right? And he allowed me to go through my emotions about dropping those people where they were. But I've really truly embraced this place of solitude and the small circle, how it's kind of like I have this special small circle, and now it's starting to grow. I'm starting to branch out a little bit more now, because I'm able to trust again, and I'm trusting his way for me. So I'm trusting that the right people are coming. So connectivity is super important to me for 2025. Yeah.
Well, I will have to say, I've been kind of quiet because I'm trying to make sure I don't get emotional. Last year was extremely difficult for me. I'm talking about, like, from June until current, extremely difficult. And so, Diana, when you was talking about gratitude, two things can be happening in you. Like, you're grateful that you do have the ability to still have the faculty of your limbs and still be able to see another day, and struggling with the physical and the mental battle of what the hell is going on? Like, why? What is happening? Not that you lose faith in what God can do, because a lot of people don't know. I only think maybe a handful of people know this, that on July 3rd, they told me that I had lung cancer. And I say they told me because I don't say I have. I try not to say that because I don't want to own that or possess that. And so even before then, I even have it here. Like I have like this daily thing that I do, a meditation for my lungs, for my breathing, for all of these different things. And I was very, very intentional. And I feel, how like you can feel your faith, like a connection. And before I went back to the doctor, because I went back to the doctor on my birthday, I remember I woke up. No, I was having this encounter. This is what I'm going to call an encounter with God. And it's like I saw him, but his back was turned, but we were dialoguing. Like how I'm talking to y'all, I felt his presence. And I was like, well, how am I going to navigate this? He was like, I'm just going to summarize. It's going to be difficult and it's going to be tough, but what you are going to have to endure and go through is not going to kill you. So it's not going to end your life, but it is going to be difficult and challenging. And from that, I don't know what it is, but this was back in July. I got up, I did my hair. I just felt like everything was going to be okay. Now, what I will say is on July 3rd, July 3rd is when they told me. July 10th on my birthday, like I said, I was like feeling spirited on that. So I found that on July 3rd. That was a Wednesday. I went to church on that Sunday. The intercessors prayed for me. I felt like I had a release. I felt like I left there feeling full. And then maybe on that Monday or Tuesday is when I felt like, God was speaking to me. And then on Wednesday, July 10th, my birthday, I went to the doctor. They was like, well, we're not sure what it is. So now we went from lung cancer to, we don't know. We have to do a lot more testing for this. So that was July. And mind you, let me go back. In June, I had a scan. The mass on my lung was a certain size. By the time it was July, the mass had doubled in size. And it was like, what the hell? Whatever this is growing rapidly. I had a bronchoscopy. That's when they were like, we don't know what's going on. September, something happened in September. I ended up in the hospital. They had to do another scan. So I stayed in the hospital for 3 days. They did another scan. What I found out when I was in the hospital in September, in October, I found out that whatever it was had moved to my lower lobe. Because at this time, the mass was only in my upper and middle lobe. So a new area had developed that was not there previously. So now they're like, okay, we just trying to keep it contained in one side. So right now it's only all on the right side. And I was just like, okay. But during this time, I felt physically like my energy draining from me. Like I all I want to do is sleep. That's the only thing I want to do. When I tell you it is a struggle every day waking up, not like I feel like I'm going to be dead, but just the physical act of being present and wanting to feel like I want to do anything. So I will get these bursts where I feel like, I feel like I want to do something. Like I have to prepare my mind. Like when we was going to New York, I was like, okay, I got to be intentional because like this is for a reason. I was excited to see you, girl. So I was like, even though I was like tired and sleepy, I was like, no, I just cannot just sleep my life away because that's not going to help me heal. That's not going to help me do the things that I know that I need to do. But I was just telling, Diana and Pam, I don't know what's this yesterday, like I can feel myself like not having any motivation, not wanting to do anything, not wanting to go anywhere. And anybody who knows me, that is definitely not me. I am on the go. I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be there. So it's totally off brand for me. And I was just telling and I'm going to be very transparent. I was looking at work and I know I had to take a lot of days off from work and everything. What I've made in prior years, last year, looking at the books, mind you, half the year from June, I was in procedures, surgeries, in and out of the doctor. At one point, I was going to 2 doctor's appointments a week. And that kind of takes a toll on you. So financially, I was like, oh, Lord, this is not good. What I made in previous years is not what I made last year. And then, so this year, 2025, I was like, okay, even though I'm not feeling it, I have to do something. And so I told myself yesterday, I said, okay, I need to not rebrand. That's not it. Update pictures, I feel like I have to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Reinvent?
Not totally, but see something different. I feel like that will add
So like you're stepping into another purpose?
Yeah, into something different, because this is not working. And I know some of it is because of the unknowns, the question marks. The doctors are puzzled, difficulty breathing, really just not having the energy to be up and down.
You need a fresh fire. Fire.
And so that was just my mental intention. I said, I have to figure out something that I can do to kind of like shake off last year. Even though I'm still going through the health stuff and everything, I have to find something to shake off. Even my daughter and my husband was like, you don't even get your hair done no more. Like, what is going on? And I'm not depressed. Like, I'm a therapist. I'm it's not depression, but I do think it is a mood adjustment that could be contributed to the lupus, whatever other health challenges I have going on, because I notice it. The only thing I will tell you I keep up with, and that was barely, because it had been 6 weeks since I got my nails done. And y'all know I get my nails done.
Yeah.
Even making time to make an appointment, I was like, okay, this is getting bad. Something is happening. But my hair, I haven't gotten it done since September. We're in January. That is not like me. I am used to always getting it retwisted, having it done, something. And so I was like, I have to shift. And you were talking about mental shifts, and I share that with my clients often. But when you have to kind of, when you already don't have the energy, you have to work double time to shift whatever it is that is happening inside you so that you can achieve what you need to achieve. I had so many unopened emails. I have so many blue dots in my phone. Like, I don't know if it's avoidance. I'm not sure what it is.
It could be.
You're
just not in the mood. But I would like to counter something that you're saying. Yes, I believe that it's a mental shift with you. Not counter. Maybe that's a poor choice of words. But Cortina, you can shift that at any given time. It's if it's your mind that you're talking about, right? You're not talking about, I know you're tired from, different things, but you're saying your mind, you feel like it's your mind that's plaguing you because you're thinking or maybe dwelling on certain things. So I would really say, take it to the Lord. Pray on it.
The lack of clarity.
Ask him.
So this is the thing. I think it's a cycle, and I'm trying to see where in the cycle, because my sleep is very disrupted. And so I'm up to like 5 o'clock in the morning. Then I'm just I'm tired, but my mind is just.
Why are you up to 5 o'clock in the morning?
I just can't sleep. Sometimes lupus does that. You have an insomnia as a result of it. So what I do is I can meditate. Normally, if I couldn't sleep, I'll meditate, say the 23rd Psalm, do something. Play a little background, white noise, count breaths. Normally, all those things work. As of late, they have not been. And it's not that I'm worried about anything, because I've, sat with myself like, am I worried about this? No, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about it. That's not on my mind.
Or it's just maybe subconsciously, because you have emails and things that aren't unanswered and all. Maybe subconsciously, Cortina, that is playing into it. So if you're up and you can't sleep and the meditation's not working and the counting of the breaths, answer some emails. Be productive.
I want to get up. I want to lay down. The energy.
You can't do it on your laptop.
So let me say this. I think a couple of things. I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a minute here. I think sometimes, with you, Cortina, for as long as I've known you, for as long as I have known you, you've gone, a million miles a minute. You've never slowed down. And one of the things I kept saying, you need to rest, you need to rest, you need to rest. Your body has finally told you, sit your ass down and focus on you, because you never did. You didn't for a long time. You put a lot of things in front of to be so many things for so many people that you never really, I'm about to break glasses, y'all, that you never really got an opportunity to really, truly take care of you. And your body forced you to now. And so, yes, you're too tired to check emails. You're too tired, and you shouldn't. You should be resting, because your body is just tired from years before I knew you, years of running and going and doing and being superwoman. And your body is just like, you know what? It's become the kryptonite that's taking you down. It's going to force you to focus on you. So even though you're like, I've not gotten my hair done, I've barely gotten my nails done, you do have to start finding ways to pick yourself up. But you still,
What brings you joy?
But it's also just telling you that it's time for you to slow yourself down, even if for a little bit. We all wear down. And I think that was the hardship that I had to learn. I'm paying medical, I'm paying dental, and it's a fight just to get there, because I don't take vacation. And when I do take vacation, I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to do these things. I'm just saying, I'm like, take leave for what? But I had to become so intentional about taking care of me that I forced myself to slow down. And then I felt like I went into, I won't say depression, but I went into like where I wasn't creative. And so last year I was like, you know what? Let me shift my focus to something. Let me not feel like I have to 100% create, that I got to knock out 30 books, that I got to do. I wanted to just not do. I really moved into that soft life. You're being forced into the soft life because you won't slow the fuck down. You won't. But now your body is saying, I can't. Your body is telling you, I can't. And I won't. But
I won't.
Because my mind sometimes wants to do it, but the body is like,
it's like, no, you're not ready.
No, I'm not ready.
But there's nothing wrong necessarily with that portion. Because y'all know, people, when I was saying earlier about me, I was like, I had physically and mentally, I was tapped out. I didn't want to look at social media. I was like, you know what? I wish I can't even do it. Like, I don't even want to see social media. I did a couple of events, but I really just, and got in tune with me. Here. And what is it that, Diana, what is it that is making you happy? What is it that you want? What is it that you see for yourself? These are the questions that you need to really ask yourself. You feel like you need to pivot. You feel like there's something else that you need to do. Take this time. That you've been given, that you've been granted. Listen to yourself and just lay down and think. God will tell you.
I tell your ass that all the time. Girl, sit the fuck down. Do I not say
that?
I do. I have to tell her, because she's another one. She would go, and I'm like, she'd be like, oh, I'm feeling, girl, if you don't sit your ass down somewhere, go relax, go rest, go. But Cortina, you just did that. And full transparency, I mean, Cortina, you shared what's been going on with you. Full transparency, it was such an emotional. It was extremely emotional to know that your friend is going through things. And when I decided to extend our hiatus, Diana will tell you, it was because I would not come back on if you wasn't coming. I told Diana, I said, you are such a pivotal piece to this, making me emotional a little bit. You're such a pivotal piece to this podcast and what I've been able to create and what you've come in and created, that I don't know if anything happened where you cannot come back. I didn't think I could bring this podcast back. Diana will tell you, I really felt that way. And I said, until I know that you're okay, I would not come back.
And
Absolutely.
just so you know, Cortina,
Yeah.
you had intercessors all over the place. Let me tell you, prayer warriors was in effect. You know, I mean, I was texting like me and Masiba, I was like, okay, oh, this is it. And I told you who has the last say so, because it's not those doctors.
So, and Cortina, I'm going to say, because I'm listening, I'm very intentional about listening, but I have what my mom used to always tell me this. I have the memory of an elephant. I remember everything. And so I'm listening, and I'm so grateful for having an elevated level of discernment in the spirit, because iron sharpens iron. It's okay to be present and feel.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to give yourself permission to be present and feel. And when you're navigating, coming out of the busy life into the life of the unknown, what the hell do I do with myself? I don't want to do it. I don't feel like doing it. You have to give yourself permission to also not do it. But you have to also be aware of not being in the sunken place either. You have to be able to discern the difference. And so listening to you and feeling your emotions, you have to give yourself to just be present. This is a lot. And let's not, we can't forget what you've already navigated. So mindfulness, I'm going to encourage you to do. Mindfulness is very important. Give yourself permission to be present. Give yourself permission to feel all of the things, because I can only, and this is an assumption, and it might be a reach, but I don't believe so. You've navigated one thing already. Now here we are being told that we've got to navigate another thing, but the devil is a liar.
Stand on it.
You are victorious. And it is so. In the mighty name of Jesus, you are healed. And so when we decree and declare things over ourselves, we do have the victory. And in this, I'm grateful that the Holy Spirit showed up in that moment that he did to let you have that intimate encounter with him, so that you can have the assurance that you needed mentally and emotionally to be grounded. But give yourself permission to be present. And even give yourself permission to feel, whether you're, and I'm not saying that you're angry, but sometimes we suppress things because we feel like we have to be stronger than what we are. And that's not the truth. You have to give yourself permission to feel, to have a moment of meekness and even weakness. But remember where our real strength comes from. And knowing that you are surrounded. Just when the enemy thinks he's got us surrounded, we're surrounded by God, right? And so you have to stand, when they say stand on business, stand on business, stand on business. You know who your Father is. And don't dare allow the enemy to distract you with those thoughts of, even listening to you say the insomnia. And I know all of these things are scientifically and clinically true. Amen. But ask God to silence the noise in your mind so that you can rest. We have to posture ourselves in our prayer life that it doesn't necessarily sound like prayer, but just having those intimate conversations with God and going before him, asking him for what we want. I mean, when my mind is going a million miles a minute and I find myself having those moments of what appears to be insomnia, I told you guys, I spent all 2024 running to God about everything. God, silence the noise in my mind so that I can rest. And before you know it, the alarm clock is going off and I'm waking up feeling renewed and restored. So we cannot be afraid, and don't you dare allow the enemy to mute you. Run to God about everything. Seek comfort from your Father. Give yourself permission to not do anything. If you don't feel like taking a shower, hell, don't shower. Like whatever it is, give yourself permission to be present with yourself. And I promise you're not going to stay there because your connections are too strong. And, we may not have the relationship that you've been able to develop with Pam and Diana, but I know God is very intentional about connectivity. And one thing I'm going to do, baby, is pray. Okay. If I ain't gonna do nothing else, I'm gonna pull us through in prayer. And so now that I
And let
know
me just
what's
tell you, she is
happening,
quite the prayer warrior.
I'm
You
trying to
understand?
tell you, and I don't play, and God don't play about me. I get results, baby. When I hit the carpet, I get results. My
Yes,
neighbors in my building, my neighbor came down the other morning. He was like, I needed everything you said. I couldn't even make out everything you said, but I felt it through the floor because I'm just great. Again, my posture, I'm so grateful for that. And I'm even grateful to be able to hear you, because God needs for us to say specific things in specific moments, and he connects us for a various of reasons. And so now that I'm able to hear it, I know how to go forth on your behalf. But meanwhile, give yourself permission to be present in all that you feel, because I can only imagine that it's frustrating to be a conqueror of one thing, to go on the battlefield right behind another war, right? But you are victorious. And so decree and declare it over yourself. You've won this already. God said you're a victor.
Mhm.
And so stand in that. Stand in that. You're victorious.
In full transparency, I'll share something extremely personal, and I don't even know, not many people even know this about me. And Courtney, I don't even know if you know. Diana, you do. We've talked about it. So one of the things that I can understand is frustration of not knowing what's going on with your body. There's nothing more frustrating. And I had to learn to stop asking what man can't explain, because God is controlled. And the reason why I say that, so back in 2003, I was diagnosed with, I'm to this day in 2024, I have zero diagnosis for having 16 plaques on my brain. 16. I have seen every neurologist. I have had too many spinal taps. I have had so many things, and I have unexplained pain. I have had every kind of MRI, everything. Nothing explains this. Not fibromyalgia, not nothing. And I have these brief moments where I have spinal burning and nothing. I am over the MRIs. I mean, I see a neurologist. Used to be every year. Now I do it every 3 to 5 years. I still, to this day, have no diagnosis and no understanding or rationale or whatever of why I have what a doctor when he first said to me, oh, you have a few plaques on your brain. I saw a neurologist and I have 16 plaques on my brain, and they don't know why. And there are so many things. I've been tested for MS because that's usually one of the things. But I've been battling this for years, looking for answers. And finally, I just gave up and I said, as long as I can get up and as long as I can breathe, I'm going to do what I have to do. If I have pain, I'm going to deal. But nothing has explained why I have certain symptoms, why I have these plaques on my brain that have not changed. They've not changed. I've not gotten any more. But I was in my 20s. I was like 20 in my 20s when I was diagnosed. Well, when they found them. And they don't know how long they was there. But one of the things that prompted them to look is because I was clumsy. And I always said, well, hell, I was clumsy my whole life. So I just never know what's been missed. But I know it's frustrating that I'm still going to doctors with certain symptoms, and every scan, everything is showing normal. Every blood work, normal. And I said, well,
because God said it's normal.
God said I'm normal, because some things that cannot be explained by man doesn't require any explanation as long as I can get up, because a diagnosis is what sometimes changes and shifts the things that you have to deal with. And sometimes you just have to say, I'm going to get up and I'm going to pray over it. And as long as God doesn't have a diagnosis for me, because what's meant for you to have, you're going to have. As long as he doesn't have a diagnosis for me, then I'm going to stop looking for one. I think that's the thing that has kind of kept me going. Now I do what I have to do. If I'm not feeling good, I go to the doctor only to come up, nothing's wrong with you. And I'm like, something has to be wrong. And so it's extremely frustrating to know that your body is doing all of these different things and feeling all of these different ways, and there is no medical explanation for it. and no medical diagnosis for it. So I understand, trust me, the frustration. But you still have to listen to your body. And if your body is saying rest, your body might be saying rest now, but God dang, check those emails, check those text messages, but don't go on taking on responsibilities that are going to further exhaust you.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes you have to reprioritize what life looks like for you
and put people in place, because you have that capacity, Cortina.
in this season. And it could just be it's a small seasonal window for you to just, your body is getting the rest that you've not had for over 10, 15. I know Morgan's what, 18? Over 18 years.
And
Don't
be
interrupt. I
the
love you
finances
guys.
either.
I have a
Yeah.
speaker meeting call. I will see you guys next week. Cortina, you got this. And answer my text message, okay? I don't care. Answer my text message.
What I will say is I've learned how to say no. Because where I would make accommodations because I was like, oh, I can do it. Yeah, okay. Even if I didn't really feel like doing it, I would still do it. Boards or do this for this person, do this, speak here, do that. Because I really had no choice. Like my body was like, no, we ain't gonna make it. I can say I've gotten better or perfected the ability to be like, no, I ain't gonna be able to do that. No, I don't want to do that. And it doesn't matter, even if someone tries to guilt me or something, it doesn't even matter because it's bigger than my desire to want to do this. It's just like, no.
I'm gonna say this last thing, Cortina, because then I have to go. But
we're gonna wrap up.
Release yourself from and not that because don't be distracted because finances don't look like what they once did. Call back your seeds. I feel like you've been a servant. You've served others extremely well. And in this season, don't be distracted because the finances don't look like what they've looked like over the years. Call back your seeds. Call your seeds forward. You've sown, and you've sown. So call back your seeds, girl. Call your seeds back in the spirit and watch God open up the floodgates, because what I know about being a servant is that, honey, you got credit in the spirit. So operate on your credit, operate in credit. It's okay. You got enough out there. Call your seeds back.
I'm definitely gonna do that.
Definitely gonna do that.
I got my pad. I said, let me write this down.
Yeah.
Well, we have reached our hour of our Herspiration and inspirational conversation, and I'm thankful for all of the listeners and people who tuned in while we were on hiatus. I think in 1 week we had like 187 downloads to playback, and that's significant when we were on hiatus. And like I shared, it was for good reason. At least it was to me. And I know that I've responded to emails and let people know that we were on hiatus. I never really indicated why, but I do value, I value my relationships. I value my friendships, and I take those things seriously, and things that I've built with the people that have poured into this just as much as I have, because they poured into me. And so, I'm always going to be this intentional about my life. And Shay, thank you so much for coming on to co-host with us, and tell everybody where they can follow you, find you, and if you have anything that's going on in 2025 that they can support.
Absolutely. So I am on Instagram at The Coach of Courage, and I can be reached by email at thecoachofcourage@gmail.com. And I have several things, and I don't have the list right now because I have several things on my calendar, and I've just started putting them on my calendar. So next week I'll have it for you. How about that?
Cortina, where can everybody find you? I know you are saying no right now to a lot of things, but what do you have, if you have anything going on?
The Women Empower in March. I will be there. So you can see me there. Anything else? Yeah, no.
Are you doing the sex conversation?
I am not sure. I'm actually being a recipient of an award.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
maybe, I'm not sure, but I have nothing else. The only thing on my to-do list is to retake pictures, update, shake off 2024, and be to myself what I am to my patients.
There you go. That was
So
good.
you can follow me at I am Dr. P. Gurley on all social media platforms. Hit the link tree in my bio. I have a ton of things going on. I have a ton of things and none things. You know, it's like I do have a lot of stuff that's coming out. I'm focusing a lot on my nonprofit because I believe in literacy advocacy, and I'm kind of really loving that direction that God gave me. And so I'm really fully walking into that purpose for it. So I will be the MC at the Women Empowerment, the WMBC, the Women's Empowerment, the Women's Net. Oh, what is it? Women in Business Networking Conference, because I am losing it. So you could definitely find me there in March, and but I have quite a few things that will be coming down the pipeline. And I'm grateful. And this is my year of intention and no complaints. I'm just going to embrace and hold life and hold on to things that are near and dear to me. Like most of those are my relationships and not really work. Mm-hmm. So you can follow the Herspiration Happy Hour brand, of course, on YouTube and all the other social media sites. Again, we thank you for tuning in. And next week, we will be back, same time, same place. And as always, cheers.
Cheers.
This is Herspiration Happy Hour.